How does this work?
I don't even know.
What are we doing?
Podcast?
Oh, what?
Podcast?
A pod what?
I don't know.
A what cast?
No idea. Nobody's watching it. So
hello and welcome, friends and fellow digital hoarders, to hashtag DadPod to Digital Hoarders.
We're off to a good start.
If you're joining us, it's because you, like us, have accepted that you might have a problem, and that problem is your digital backlog. So thank you for joining us for Digital Hoarders Anonymous, meeting number 29. I think it's been so long since we've been with you.
Feels like forever.
I forget how to talk video games.
And talk, period. Listen to you.
Obviously, by Digital Hoarders Anonymous, we mean please tell all your friends that we are live every Wednesday-ish at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific-ish, or 7 o'clock tonight. But if you can't make the show live because we are irregular and bad at doing the show on time, you can find the video immediately after on YouTube or the next day on all audio podcasting services. You can also find us on Twitter at Digital Hoarders with the E is a 3. Brandon's coughing.
Longest fucking intro ever.
I know. I forget how to do it.
God.
You want to do it?
Nope.
And
Far Cry 5.
find us on Twitter. Get at us. Tell us about your video game addiction, or tell us about that sweet deal you just found on Honey Pop.
What the fuck is Honey Pop?
It's an anime porn game.
Of course you know. Whoa, wait. Nick, you seem like very familiar with that.
Hello, my name is Alden, and I'm a digital hoarder.
Was that to get to this?
Yes.
That was a super long, drawn out version.
Well, if you hadn't interrupted 8 times.
Twice, but it was way too long.
It felt like
that.
8.
If it was 12.
We've been together too long.
Hey, I'm Brandon. I'm a digital hoarder. They don't know the drill.
I thought they were.
Hey, I'm Dan, and I'm a digital hoarder.
There he is.
Hey, and I'm Nicholas. I'm a digital hoarder, apparently.
Apparently.
Currently, you are.
This is one of those, you've been called here to accept that you have a problem.
This is your...
Really? I thought my 500 games on digital...
Oh, no.
Was an okay thing.
So anyway, yes, we do have a few special guests with us here tonight. We have Dan Rodriguez at Dr. Rodriguez something or other on Twitter.
Close. That's pretty close.
Yeah,
Hey,
you'll find him.
Yeah, just look for him. He is a friend of the show. And Nicholas Downey.
Yep, you got it.
I know you as
Unfair.
Undead, and it's so weird to call you Nicholas.
Yeah, I had to make the transition over because people are like, "Oh, this guy writes really good articles. I wonder who he is." And I'm like, "That's me, damn it!"
I'm the skeleton avatar.
Yeah, yeah. Is it weird if I tell you that you look more like an undead to me?
Oh. Not sensing Nicholas when I look.
Yeah, no, not really. Nicholas.
So I guess. Do you want to just?
Yeah, up front. I mean, it's our background now, and one of the reasons we got you guys on the show, and the reason Doc's not on the show is the community, the gaming community in all. I mean, just lost a fantastic person yesterday. He Xbox Addict at Xbox Addict on Twitter. Great dude. And I don't want to speak for Brandon, but the two of us, and Doc knows him very well, or knew him very well. But I've only had a handful of interactions with him. I know Brandon really only has had a handful of interactions.
I mean, he was always positive and a very nice guy, but it was never, we just never ran, I guess, in the same circles. But he was always one of those guys that, like, if his name popped up in something, it was always positive. It was always, something that it was always Xbox related, but it was always positive. And then, there's, as we try to bring up on this show, there's not a lot of us out there that try to keep things positive, and he was definitely one of them.
Yeah, and it's one of those guys where, you guys can speak to it more. You knew him better than I did, but I knew of him as a guy where it was like, I like that guy. I don't even know him. I've had a handful of conversations with him, less than 5. But every time I've had a conversation with him, I've really, really enjoyed it. And you just kind of, even through Twitter, we're able to say, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
To the point where, I mean, my fiance Tanya doesn't know a lot of the people that these random video game people online. And I told you guys earlier, but Xbox Addict, I talked to Tanya about him a few weeks ago when his wife had gone through surgery, because it was kind of like, hey, like I'm checking my Twitter every 30 minutes for updates on his wife because I'm concerned and worried about his wife. I don't know this dude. I care so much about things going well for him just because I like him so much that I'm checking my Twitter on an hourly basis to figure out what's going on with his wife. And just that he had that kind of impact on me in 3 or 4 conversations is crazy, because there aren't a lot of people I can say that for. And it's nice to have you two on the show right now, because you're two guys who kind of the same way, where through Twitter, Twitter, the internet in general is such kind of a negative cesspool, and even the nice people, you're like, there's probably something wrong with them. There's only a few people that I can say I've interacted with on Twitter or YouTube or whatever, where I've said, I like that person. Mm-hmm. And you guys are two of those people where I can honestly say, like, I really like those people as people. Like, if I was near you guys, I would say we need to get together and do something. And it's just so weird that Xbox Addict Matt was the same way, where I had really not interacted with him much at all, but it was still kind of like, I like that dude a lot. Mm-hmm. So it was really upsetting to see that his mom had posted on Twitter a few days ago that things weren't going well, and everyone was pulling for the best. And we got the sad update today. Well, I guess last night. I was in bed because I'm an old man. But so I know, Dan, do you want to talk about it? I know it's been hard for you. Do you want to talk about it at all?
Yeah.
And anybody in the chat too. Sorry to cut you off. Anybody in the chat, if you have anything to say about him, say it, because like I said, Brandon and I aren't the kind of people to say he was our best friend.
Yeah.
We don't want to bullshit anybody, but we liked him and cared about him.
Yeah, and like what I like is that we've tweeted out stuff about the show, and it got a lot of retweets and stuff, but 95% of those retweets were that logo right there. Mm-hmm. Just because it's just everybody pulling together. And as Alden stated, you know, I didn't feel like it was mine, and you said the same thing, for us to put it up, because I'm not going to take away from what he was, because I don't know him well enough. I know him well enough to say this was a kick-ass guy with a heart of gold. But I'm not going to be the one sitting here and saying all these great things, because it's not true. It's not fair for me to say, because I don't know him well. But that's why we wanted to do this, because, you know, Dan does know him, and Nick does know him, and people in the chat are popping off that they know him well. So, but I love the solidarity on Twitter right now of just, it's every other person, if not more than that, is his logo right now. And I think that's amazing. I've never seen it pulled together like that on Twitter. So
yeah. So if you have any thoughts in the chat that you want to shoot out there, we'll read it all off here in a minute. But so sorry to cut you off, Dan. Go ahead.
No, you're fine, man. Matt, let me preface this by saying that, you know, I don't know him as well as, you know, a lot of people in the community. In fact, you know, when I got on Twitter, basically I got on there to check out, you know, sports and just general, you know, gaming news and all that kind of stuff. Well, I won like a Fallout Xbox, like a special edition, and played it a couple times. You know, it really wasn't my thing. So I figured, you know, oh man, they're going for pretty decent money on eBay. I think I'll sell one. Well, I had some pretty good offers. I had some, you know, he was one of them, and he kind of hit me up. He said, man, you know, how about, you know, this much money? I was like, hey, whatever, you know, I wasn't super picky, but he showed me his collection, and when I saw it, first of all, I was blown away. The guy, I was like, what? So it was amazing. So, I mean, that's kind of what drew me to him at first. And I you know, so we talked about it, ended up selling it to him. And then kind of since then, he's like, hey, you know, just why don't you follow me on Twitter, and, you know, when it comes in, we'll, I'll show it off and all this other stuff. And so, that basically led to me following, other people that he followed. And, it's just, I wouldn't be on this show right now if it weren't for him. I wouldn't be doing this kind of thing and be involved in the gaming community. I mean, as much as I am, if it weren't for Matt. We DM'd back and forth every once in a while. And when he was in the hospital, I think it was last year, right around this time, and he was in there for months. He donated a couple Xboxes, I think, to the VA in San Diego, and he kind of put it out there for people to, donate some more games or whatever you could do. And I did that. I started DMing him, and we started talking, and it was just here and there, but we've always interacted on Twitter. And I sent him some Starburst and some Domino's pizza gift cards, because they never gave him the damn Cinestick icing. But he always complained about that stuff. He was, it was just these little things, but he always kept that stuff positive. He always did so much stuff for the community. I mean, he was one of those guys that, on Twitter, you just follow, and you just, he always puts out positive stuff. Was he perfect? No, he some of his stuff, he kind of got, a little angry here and there, but we're all like that, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, just makes us human. But he was super passionate. And the biggest thing for me was not even the gaming stuff. It was his kids. When he posted that stuff on Twitter about his kids, how much his son loved racing on Forza, that kind of thing. As a dad, when I heard this news, that really hit me hard. And I took a lot of time today and did a lot of praying and a lot of talking with some of my people at work, and that's really the reason I'm on here right now. I mean, the guy, just from him, Butcher Van in the chat right now, he's an amazing person also. And I started following him. Diego in the chat, I started following him because of Xbox Addict, and Doc, another person. It just all these people, and eventually it just grew to where I was being more and more involved. And it, Twitter, and all the interactions on it, it kind of fills a certain void in my life that, I don't necessarily have. I have a few friends, but I don't have, tons and tons of friends. I mean, I met you guys, and it's all these little things, and all these little things meant so much to me. And it was all because of him, just buying that Xbox. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. My only regret is that I never really got to tell him that, how much that kind of meant to me. But really, the guy was just a super amazing dude. All the support right now on Twitter, and everybody coming out and rocking those, Xbox Addict profile pics. It's awesome, man. I mean, this is what it should be every day. I know it's not, but it should be. And, it sucks that this, is what it took to see this community kind of come together, but it's there right now. And, and people mourn in different ways, and people, I don't know, man, it's tough. It's really been a tough few days. And, just, I was praying for his family, and that, they can find some peace in this whole thing. I mean, I don't know. It makes me think, what would happen if I lost my kids, or if I died and I, and my kids were fatherless. It's just that really hits home. It makes me want to be a better person. So that's basically my story with Addict. So
yeah, I think too, to that point, and that was one of the things that I thought was so fantastic about him is he was an Xbox addict.
His collection was insane.
Yeah, go to his Twitter right now and pull up. I think his first tweet, his pinned tweet, is a video of his collection.
Yep.
It was ridiculous. It was like an Xbox museum.
His Guinness World Record book, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Someone filled me in on that earlier today. I didn't
But
realize that.
at the same time, it wasn't like a Xbox only, get out of here with your PlayStation bullshit.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, you like a Horizon Zero Dawn? Awesome. I like Sea of Thieves. Cool. We can both like games together. If that was kind of his attitude about everything. And I mean, obviously there's stuff here and there, but it all came from a place of, yeah, I love games. We love games. Let's love games together, which is such a bummer.
And like Dan said, I it's terrible that it takes something like this to get the gaming community to all just unify as one. But I would just love, and I'm not dumb, I know it won't happen, but I would love for it to just not change. Like, let's all get behind something like this. Why can't we all just get behind one similar passion, and that is gaming? But I would just love for, I like to see some of the people, some of the more toxic people are letting their guard down and just understanding what happened. And I just wish it could be that way all the time. And huge props to people at Xbox Corp, like Phil Spencer, Aaron Greenberg. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Major Payne, for these guys to be not only tweeting out their thoughts and prayers, retweeting the GoFundMe, which if you guys aren't familiar, there is a GoFundMe that started for his family. The one that I know that we seem to know is legit is the one that Aaron Greenberg tweeted out. That's where we all 3-4 got it from. But
we'll tweet that out from our Twitter too.
Huge props to the Xbox corporate heads, if you will, for understanding how important he was to, because to those guys, this is just a hardcore fan, you know what I'm saying? And they're all over the place, but they realize there was more to him than that. And if anybody saw what, Doc was going through, he touched a lot of lives, and Doc is feeling it as everybody is right now. So, but yeah,
it's just a testament. So when you got like Aaron Greenberg and Phil Spencer tweeting about it, it's a testament to they deal with fans of Xbox all the time. That's what they do, and haters of Xbox. But something about him just drew people in.
Yeah.
Nick, we haven't let you speak. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Go ahead and say your piece.
It's amazing because I was at work when I was on first break at work when the news passed, and so it was like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I did not know Matt very well. I followed him for a long time. I initially started talking to him thanks to Doc, because Doc retweeted one of the charity events or one of those things that Matt was doing. So I was like, cool, it's another really positive guy in the community. So I followed him. I followed him for a long time, and it really hits me a little more hard than I thought it would, because in the past month I'd been talking with him via DM because I wanted to bring him on, because we were doing on my podcast, we were doing Xbox E3 predictions in the next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And I really thought he would have been great to have on because he's so passionate, he's so positive and everything else. So I was talking back and forth with him, and we were talking about when to do it and everything else. And he was just an absolutely amazing guy in so many aspects. The passion he had for his kids, for gaming in general, it just, I don't even know how I feel about it. And it's amazing how so many people, through so many different aspects of the community, have been affected by this. Like, I'm seeing guys that don't interact with each other or blocked each other or just absolutely hate each other come together for this. And it's absolutely phenomenal. Like, the amount of, my whole Twitter feed is his avatar right now, basically. And it's mind-blowing to me. And it's a shame how fast it happened, because literally it was like he was in he went to the hospital, and then 2 days later, here we are. It's it's saddening. And as everyone's kind of touched on too, as a father, it hits me especially hard because when you have kids and everything else, and like I had my own kind of health crisis back in December and everything else, and it kind of puts things into perspective of when you sit there and go, well, what if I'm not there for my kids growing up? What if I don't see my kids go to school? What if I don't see them graduate? And how will that affect them in the long term? And it hurts to see, you know, his kids who are fairly young are going to have to go through this, and they're missing an absolute star of a person from their life now. And there's literally nothing that could ever replace his positivity in his community and his family, of course. And yeah, it just kind of breaks me up a little. I don't really know how to say what I'm feeling right now, but it hurts for sure.
Yeah, and not only was he, you know, their dad, but to have that kind of positive, passionate person removed from their life, like the kind of I wish I could be more positive and passionate, and my kids had that in their lives, but and to lose that is, it's hard to even think about, man. Like it's hard to move on from that.
Yeah.
Do we want to read some of the things in the chat?
Yeah, so what I'm seeing is Butcher Van and a couple other people said that Sea of Thieves is doing a proper tribute to him in the game. Don't know exactly what that is, but whatever that is, that's absolutely
apparently apparently they're going to be doing a statue. He's got a statue on an island. One of the first people when that tweet went live that he had passed, Craig Duncan, who's the head executive of Rare. He was one of the first people responding to it. He was like 3 minutes after that tweet went live. Wow. He was one of the first people commenting on it and sending support and everything else. So when that gets added into the game, that's huge.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I know he was really proud of that too. I mean, him and was it Jordy Tommy, the Xbox Pope. You know, they did that controller, that custom controller, sent one to, I think, Aaron Greenberg, and I think one to Craig Duncan, right? Or somewhere at Rare. And it's a book. I want to say it's like Smuggler's Cove or something like that, with the skeleton right above it. And it's got both their names on it. And you can go find it. I haven't seen it yet. I saw some pictures of it today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard they were going to change it and do something different. And that sounds amazing, Nick. If they're going to do a whole statue, that's just so awesome.
That alone makes me want to buy the game just to support such a cool idea for somebody, because again, we talked about Phil Spencer and these guys, these Xbox heads doing that. For somebody at a game studio, a game studio of the significance that Rare is, to do that, to even think about that, I've never seen anything with that games.
Yeah,
you'll see similar things where like they'll do something, but nothing. I've never seen anything to that on that grandiose of a scale. Unless I'm
close.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing. So that's awesome.
Van said it was one of 5 made out of the controllers.
The controller
yeah, and they're awesome. They're black with like this gold Sea of Thieves skull on it. Man, they're amazing. It just sucks.
Yeah.
It's the dude. I don't know, man. It's last night, you guys, DM me and, that link to his mom's tweet. And, I just said, fuck, because I didn't know what to say at the time. Sorry, kids. But, I literally walked out. I was almost asleep, and I walked out to my garage and just sat there and, talked with you guys a little bit. I talked with Van, and just tears. It's like I told you guys kind of before, just trying to justify why I was, for a guy that I knew, and I knew how good of a guy he was, but I never really met the guy. I never shook his hand or had a beer with him. But it's just something about that guy, man. He was just such a good person, and that's really it. And I just, like I said before, I just hope everything works out for his family. And, you know, if you guys in chat can support that GoFundMe, I mean, that would be amazing. You know, just do what we can as a community. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, when I saw the news, you know, it was devastating. Anytime anybody loses anybody, it's devastating. And not being overly familiar with them other than the few handfuls, but when talking to you, Dan, in our group chat last night, as soon as you said the twins and the son, it hit me 10,000 times harder. And it's like you guys have both said, and all three of us, you three have said, that's when it hit me even harder that even if he wasn't the positive force that he was in the gaming community, it's just the thought of 3 children now and a wife who's lost her husband, and that is definitely when it hit a lot harder. So yeah, that's I agree with you. I would love to see if it's at all possible. Let's donate to that, to that GoFundMe. And nobody's asking you to break your bank account. You know, don't hurt yourself. But every little dollar right now is going to help them. So, yeah. So, but yeah, if you go through the comments on Twitter right now, it's
all just, I mean, he was such a positive person, such a positive guy, positive gaming voice. One of my fondest memories was playing Forza 3 with Matt. Would love if Forza Horizons 4 kept his Drivatar and made it unbeatable. That'd be fantastic.
That's what TJ said. Native said that it was one of the first guys he followed. Diego just reiterating everything. It's just.
Diego said Matt was so full of life, loving and having fun in life, and that's just what came through. I mean, just through Twitter, which is you don't always get to read people well through Twitter, but somehow it shined through on Twitter.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think we should do a moment of silence here, and then get on and talk about games. But
okay,
unless anybody has more they want to say about it, guys, anybody?
No, I'm okay.
I'm good.
All right, so let's do a quick moment of silence for Matt. All right, so, man, how do you transition and move on? It's just hard.
Talk about games, because that's what...
Yeah, let's talk about games, because that's what he loved and wanted to talk about all the time.
Real quick, with our logo, I in the chat is Diego. Diego put this together. This is absolutely amazing. I don't know if it can be fully seen. We lean out, but it's awesome. We've got the gates with the Xbox logos on. It's fantastic. So
yeah,
thank you so much for that, Diego.
Diego's the best. And he whipped that up in just a few minutes.
Yeah, like really quick, man. Guy's awesome.
Brandon was like, "Hey, do you think you could?" And then, like, before Brandon even finished, I think the text, Diego was like, "Here."
Yeah. So, but like we said, games. We all like to talk about games. I think there's one game because we've been off for
a long time.
What seems like forever.
We haven't done a show in 4.5 years.
It feels like that.
What's the PS4 like?
Years. It's just with us being. I've been sick. I was away at PAX. Scheduling conflicts. It's been nuts. So it's good to be back here. Everybody's here. But there is one game that all 4 of us have in common.
Honey Pop.
No, that's just me and Alden.
That's just you. Yeah. However, I am intrigued.
I'll tell you all about it later. I'll tell you about it when you're older.
Oh, sweet. I can't wait.
I kind of talked about it on an episode before.
We have all visited Hope County, and we all love it. So what do you want to talk about?
I played other games too, by the way.
No, you didn't. They don't count. I don't care about your weird anime porn games.
I think so. How many of us have finished Far Cry 5? I know me. I have finished. Me have finished it. Me have finished it. Dan have finished it.
I have.
Nick, have you finished it?
Yep, finished and reviewed.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know you reviewed it. This is awkward.
What a dick.
And Brandon has not finished.
I have two of the lieutenants killed. My whole thing is, I know that if I had just mainlined the story, I'd have been done it I can't help. Like once I defeated John, I wiped out all of his cults, every single mission, then moved up to. So I am like exacerbating the length of this game.
TJ, don't worry, we will not spoil the ending. Just I was asking them if they finished it, just because I want to say a couple whether or not I was in whether people enjoyed the ending or not. But we're not going to talk about the ending itself.
Yeah, no. But I
damn it, Diego.
So I don't know if you guys like try to mainline or not, but I am 100%ing each section before I move on to others. So it is taking me way fucking longer than I think it would the average person. So.
I did John's area first. I 100%ed it. I did most of Faith's.
Okay.
And I didn't 100% it, but that's the part where I just kind of went, I've had enough now. I know what this game is. I want to see what the story does.
Gotcha. I get that. Me, I'm just like, I'm going for the plat in this. I'm not stopping until I have the plat in this. Well, that's a lie because in 2 days God of War comes out and then I'm halting all Far Cry. But so Nick, since Alden didn't do his homework, what did you talk about your review of Far Cry 5?
Okay, so I gave Far Cry 5 a 78 out of 100 because that's the reviewing score system we do. It was fantastic. Sorry?
Plug where you did your review.
Hey, if anyone follows me or doesn't follow me, I do writing for the Air Circle game site for tickgn.com. You can check all my reviews, everything there. I'm reviewing God of War for the site, so. But it's a really good game. I really enjoyed it. And they did a really good job with the side stuff because I bought the game the night it came out. I was like, I'm going to stay up all night playing this. And I spent 3 hours fishing. I was like, this is stupid. Like, why is this in the game? And then I caught like 3 fish and I'm like, hey, this is a good way of making money. Huh?
And it's surprisingly fun.
And I'm like, this is way more fun than I thought it would be. Damn it. And then they're like, there's legendary fish. I'm like, what? Okay. Okay.
I did a mission last night.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's a lot of fun. I found what they did great versus other Far Cry games is they varied up the side content for taking down each region, which made it a lot more fun.
Yeah.
In that way, because it was varied. You could destroy trucks, you could steal hardware, you could take down outposts, you had specific character missions that helped. And I will just say that they made an insane amount of interesting side characters, and the animals are fantastic. Like, if you don't play with Cheeseburger the bear, like, that is the greatest thing. A bear with diabetes.
That's my dude.
Yeah, Cheeseburger, the bear with diabetes.
So great.
So good. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And one of the main things that I really love that it captured that an FPS game I don't think has ever done is it actually made the pistol an actual useful weapon. Like,
I don't ditch it. I keep it the whole time. And it's in my 4th slot. And usually that's the first gun. You're like, fuck this. Like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like my favorite thing is I think it's like the long-barreled 6-shot revolver. Absolutely hilarious, sneaking up behind a cultist and shooting them in the back and then watching them ragdoll 20 feet in the other direction. It's just a really, really well done game. The only thing that I will say was, and once again with avoiding spoilers, is the ending made me go, what?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's what Alden said and Dan said. And but yeah, we won't spoil it because I haven't, so I'd really be pissed if they spoiled it. But
yeah, I don't want to spoil or have anybody go into the ending expecting anything, but I also would like people to know, like, the ending was kind of annoying to me. So if you go into it knowing that, maybe it won't bother you as much as it bothered me. You know what I mean?
You also hate like a lot of stuff.
What do I hate?
You hate everything. You hate a good
everything
time.
but Honey Pop.
Exactly. That's his game of the year every year.
You know what? The ending to Honey Pop kind of sucks too. So
literally, apparently.
Wasn't that happy ending?
Brandon just made it. Brandon just said a joke,
and then
took a drink, and then spit it out because he thought he was so funny.
Nope, it wasn't even that.
Just don't pass out, man.
No, I'm good. No, I'm not there yet. So,
all right. Thank you.
I feel like I pissed myself now.
Well, it's because you did.
Vanilla Coke.
Dan, how do you feel about Far Cry 5?
It was awesome. I played a lot of the co-op. with Van. I played some with my other friend. That's actually ridiculous. I mean, because you kind of forget what you're actually doing and just start going crazy. Like he said in the chat, we just kept, for some reason, he kept grabbing guys and throwing them into a truck bed, and we just started driving around, and just the buggy physics of some of the stuff is just these guys like waving back and forth in the back. It was hilarious. And then, but like sometimes, but for me, they were in the back of the truck. For him, they were underneath the truck, and they were, stopping us from going. It just, there's so many things that, go on. Now, the whole game, let me give you a kind of a piece of advice. If you're going to try to platinum this thing, or, get 1,000 out of 1,000, make sure you work on all those trophies prior to finishing that third area, because it gets very, very vacant. After you clear that one area out, it kind of gets vacant. And so like for me, I was trying to get that 1,000 out of 1,000. Well, there's a lot of those achievements that I'm having trouble getting now.
I know a lot of them you can do in arcade as well.
Right.
Like kill one. So I wonder if that would help. But
right. Yeah.
That's a good point.
You can reset your outpost too, and do all the outposts over again. So that's what I've been kind of trying to do. Apparently, like there's one where you have to shoot down enemy planes, or destroy planes in the air with another plane. You can blow your own plane up, I think, because I did it last night and it popped, and I was like, I don't know what I just did, but it's awesome. But there's just a lot of, it was really fun. I mean, it was probably the most fun Far Cry that I've played since 3, I think. I agree with you on the ending. Super confused, but it is what it is. If you take everything, that journey to the end, and just whatever it is that happens, it was well worth it. I think it was well worth the purchase price for sure. And I'm trying to play with co-op with my friends as much as I can. I need to get back on with Van so we can go destroy some more stuff. And it's just, there's all, and there's so many ways you can do all these things, but I really enjoyed it, and that was a pretty fun game.
Yeah, I think the day I finished it and the day after, I was kind of down on the game, and like, that kind of wish, I hadn't paid full price for that game or whatever. But in the time since, I look back on it more fondly. The first 20 hours I put in that game was some of the most fun I've had playing a game.
And that's the thing I would take away from that. It's just, if you went that whole game and were like, oh my God, this nothing lived, then, but for 20 hours of that, and then
there were 5 or 10 hours there towards the end where it was like, I've had enough now. Like I got my fill, but it was a really, really, it's an awesome game. I like the 78 score, because it does kind of tell the tale of, because I didn't get it. So I played through the first half of the game, and I saw a lot of these scores, and I think it had an 81 on Metacritic.
Something like that, yeah.
And I thought, this game does not deserve an 81. This should be like 91. But as I went on, I was like, all right, I get it. But it was so much fun. It's such a fun game. It's just, I think I expected more out of the story, which is kind of dumb, because that's not Far Cry so much. But I felt like going into this that they were making this one more about the story. And it kind of is still Far Cry.
Yeah, some of the problems that, you go from, trying to kill a cow mid-coitus to, trying to, yeah. So to a very graphic, maybe a torture scene or something, so it kind of takes you out of that, and puts you back in so many times, and eventually you're just like, whatever, I'm just gonna go with it.
So I'm here for the ride.
Yeah, and just about the only way to progress the story a lot of the times is to get kidnapped. And by the 9th time you're kidnapped, you're kind of like, come on, just take me, please.
Shoot me in the head and end it.
There's so many times where it's like the first time it happened in the game, they're like, we're sending a hunting party. I'm like, okay, so there's gonna be a ton of guys, and then I was like, oh, hold on, we're using bliss bullets. Wait, what? Then you get hit, and then you crash your car, and you're like, did I screw up? Like, was I supposed to evade them? Was I supposed to? And then you're like, okay, so I got drugged, I got dragged off. we can't let that happen again. But no, each region that happens 3 times that you get kidnapped. It's like, damn it. You'd think I'd get better at this by now.
Yeah.
In the chat, Miguel said, "I'm a gentleman. I'll let the cow finish before I killed." Not allowed to. Not allowed to.
Yeah,
you get the best meat when he's. What's great is that particular mission. There's that, and then you have to like run him over with the fucking chipper and everything. It's I love that game. What is your favorite pairing of your either Guns for Hire or Fangs for Hire? I roll with Cheeseburger and Nick Rye, because Nick Rye will just massacre everybody from up top. And Cheeseburger will massacre. I had one outpost I cleared where I didn't shoot a fucking person because they just took care of the whole thing for me. What would your go-to?
My favorite pairing, like the people that I like, is I like to have Boomer and shit. What's the girl's name? Grace.
The girl from the
sniper.
church.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
Yeah. But Nick Rye is almost a must at half the game because you need his air support. So
the girl in the helicopter, I don't like her as much. Like, she's good, but she's like, she likes to get down really low to the ground. Her helicopter's always getting shot down when I call her in.
She dies all the time. So I like Nick Rye, and Cheeseburger's good. Nick Rye and Grace is also real good.
But if you just want to laugh, get Herc.
Herc
is just the funniest shit.
I ran half the game with Herc and
yeah.
It was just like the biggest yeehaw moment. Hell yeah. Like I'd run Herc, Cheeseburger, and then I'd use the melee boost drug with a baseball bat and just run it out. It was like the best thing ever.
Nice.
So I think I used, what the hell is the cougar's name?
Peaches,
yeah. Peaches and Jess. I kind of went for that stealthy.
Okay.
I like Jess too, yeah.
And yeah, I like, just, I really like taking Herc basically with anybody. I can't remember. I think it might have been Van. He posted this video of, I think it was Herc and Peaches.
Yeah.
And Herc's just like, hey, it's a nice pussy you got there. Yeah, it's just a small little thing. I'm just like, I just wanted to take him with everybody and just see what he would say. The guy is amazing. And
him with
in
all
every
the Far Cry games. Yeah. Right. Him and Nick Rye, I had them at one point, and they're talking like Nick's like radioing down. And at one point they start getting in this thing, and Nick says, "Yeah, it reminds me of that one time that you and that girl in high school." And he's like, "You know what? I probably shouldn't finish that." But it's amazing because every pairing, it isn't just a generic, boring back and forth. They're all completely different. The helicopter lady is the most perverted old lady in the world. If you get her in there with you, if you put her and Herc, they're back. They're
man.
That's Herc's mother that's in the helicopter. It's Herc's mom that flies the helicopter. So it's a funny back and forth that those two have. It's just, I love it. Even if the ending is just complete dog shit, like it's. I guess it's not dog shit. Just it left more to be wanted, but it's not going to take away from this being just my. We're only in April, but it's currently my game of the year for 2 more days. Let's be honest, but it's I'm loving it. But you know me, I'm obsessed with the Far Cry series as a whole.
Right.
So,
and this was your most anticipated game of the year
by far. So yeah, and I'm loving every single second of it. I did a fishing mission last night where I had to catch this 100-pound albino paddlefish. That was fucking hard as shit.
I think I did that one.
It was. You cleared. Its name was something Ragnus. No, it was.
Yeah.
You got it from clearing the dock. You get a random side mission, but man, that thing snapped my line so many times. Like, but yeah, it's oddly satisfying. Just playing the fishing mini game is oddly satisfying. The missions I'm doing right now is running around collecting meat for the chef, where he can only likes roadkill, so you have to just get cars and run animals over. Good times. PETA loves this game, so
yeah.
So
has Nick, have you been playing anything else? Playing, watching, doing?
I've been playing God of War 3 Remastered, and because I haven't played that game since the week it came out back in 2010.
I've never played it.
Brandon, you just stick an arm in and just
he's off he's off the show. I have like a lot of knives actually right in front of me.
Yeah.
I'll take care of this.
What the hell?
Any listeners of #DadPod would note that was episode 20 surprise guest. Didn't realize that the whole episode Brandon was opening and closing it, and
it's
through
an
the
awful squeaking noise.
Whole episode you just hear.
Yep.
And it's
I'm like a small child, and I get very fidgety.
It makes editing an episode very difficult.
It's not doing it. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Sorry, you've been playing God of War 3.
Yeah, so I'm playing God of War 3, and I kind of sat there like through the first 2 hours of the game. I'm like, why would anyone want to change this? This game is amazing. And then about 8 hours into it, I'm like, okay, yeah, this needed to change. The story clicked with me so much back when I first came out. But then I sat there and went, oh, man, I was 16 when this game came out. I was angry at everything. Kratos was like super relatable back then. And now, I've got 2 kids and everything else. So it's like, I'm not that angry anymore. So it doesn't really click as much. Still a fantastic game, but just playing it makes me itch even more for the new one. And that's for sure.
I can't wait for God of War so much, which is not a thing I ever expected to say 2 years ago, since before that E3 reveal. God.
Being in that room, that was the coolest thing. That's one of my coolest,
brag.
Yeah, I will. I don't even care. That was fucking cool. That was one of the coolest reveals, though.
It looks so amazing, and the reviews that keep coming out keep saying cool things. And I listened to IGN's review podcast because I can't get enough of this game.
Yeah,
I can't wait for the game.
And what makes it so much more likable, for all of us on Twitter, is how fucking cool Cory Balrog is. He's so cool with just being he's answering everybody's questions. He's not hiding anything. If you remember, he was a real smartass when it came out about being in the boat. He had no issues making fun of his own game about him not jumping. He had no issues making fun of it. But I love when guys on the development side are that hands-on with the people on Twitter, because it answers so many people's questions going into it, and it shows just the likability of everybody behind that game. Corey's a super nice guy. That would be a dream guest to get on here. But I don't think the 3 conversations I've ever had with him are going to warrant him being excited to jump on Digital Hoarders. But
give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Make it happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, Corey's so incredibly cool. I did a piece on Tick. I was talking about how God of War could be the PlayStation game of the generation, barring Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, everything else coming later. And it was really cool. So a bunch of people were retweeting it, talking about it. And then someone tweeted at me. It was like, oh, this is really cool. I'm going to show this to Corey later. And I'm like, Corey, who? So I clicked on this person's profile, and they're part of the development team at Sony Santa Monica. And then Corey tweeted at me and was like, hey, this is a really great article. Thanks for being excited for the game and everything. I shut my laptop and had to do some breathing exercises.
So get him on your show and let me guest on that episode.
No, quit it. Stop. No.
Yeah, I'm sure that one Twitter conversation with Cory Balrog is going to pan out.
He's sitting there right now who was that undead guy? I don't know who this Nicholas guy is.
Yeah.
It's totally confusing him. But fantastic on social media. That guy has been crazy everywhere. It's trying to promote that game.
And makes me so happy, these review scores. I mean, because the amount of people, with my job, the amount of people I interacted with on a literal daily basis, people I'll wait and see. It's stupid. He's not just, where's the blades at? Why isn't it hack and slash? He doesn't jump. It's an escort mission. I don't give a shit about his kid. This is dumb. This isn't Kratos. This isn't going to sell. I'm just okay, just please stop. And it's just to see, not only is it a good game, it's a fucking masterpiece. I love it. I'm so happy for it, because if this game came out to a 79 Metacritic, people would sleep on it. Nobody's going to sleep on this game now, and it's I can't wait.
I know 5 guys that didn't own PlayStations that went out and bought them 5 days ago because of this game. My friend has not owned a PlayStation ever. He texted me, is yeah, so I kind of bought a PlayStation Pro. I'm that's the ticket right there.
Fucking right.
It's one of those games that you gotta appreciate it, because after God of War Ascension, which didn't review as well, it still was an 83. It didn't sell as well. It was one of the slowest selling games. They went back to the drawing board and went, what can we do? And they went in such a different and unique way about it. And yeah, there's a lot of changes. And initially when I first saw it, I was kind of like, I was kind of like with the original E3 reveal for it, I was kind of on the fence on whether I liked the changes. But as they showed off more and more, about 4 months ago, I stopped watching the trailers because I was like, nope, I'm sold.
Yeah.
I don't need to see any more of this. And like, I've not read a review. I know the Metacritic's insane right now. I'm going in as blind as I possibly can because I think they've done an absolutely amazing job at doing changes that will relate better to a different audience than just a hack and slash game. I think this is going to transform into an amazing series as well.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Oh, you say that you got 4 friends, Nick, that just went out and bought it. I was literally at Walmart buying a cam for just this podcast, and a guy had a PlayStation 4 right in front of me. I said, "God of War?" He said, "Yeah." I was like, I said, "Yeah, I totally understand, man." I mean, it's so. I'm so pumped. I mean, I've only I haven't owned a PlayStation 4 as long as you guys have. I've had it for a little over 7-8 months, but just being able to kind of get all these different games and play all these other things. I've got a Switch over here. I got and this game, aside from Spider-Man, because that might trump it for me because I'm a huge Spider-Man guy, but I'm so pumped. I took Friday off. I don't ever take days off of work. I'm off Friday. That's all I'm going to be doing. My wife's gone and taking the kids on Saturday.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm almost afraid to finish it because I'm going to be like, man. But yeah. It's
a meaty game. So God help you if you finish that thing in one sitting, because it means you didn't move for like 35 hours. But hey, man, to each his own.
No, I'm gonna all the side quests are gonna be done. Everything's gonna be done for sure. Yeah. That's gonna be all I'm doing this weekend.
Yeah, I'm hearing from the IGN thing, 50 plus if you want to get everything. But a lot of guys said they completed that entire game, and they were just giant chunks of the map that they didn't even unlock, so they were able to go back and just keep discovering things. So it's God, I'm so excited. It's unfortunately I am not off Friday. I have to go out and promote the hell out of this game. So Saturday, that is the plan. I don't usually play on the weekends because I try to spend time with the kids, but I'm thinking on Saturday I might be like, all right, go. It's nice to jump on the trampoline or something. So like,
it's amazing because I was on I was talking to one of my buddies that got a review copy of it, and he did a really awesome review on it. And we were talking about it because I said when you finish the game, because you know how in some like open world style games, once you finish the game, it doesn't let you go back. You can't finish up all the side stuff. You have to finish all the side stuff, then do. He said that basically you can finish the game and then all the side content is still available to you after you complete the game. Which is absolutely, I love that because I'm one of those people when I play an open world game, I want to beat the story because I want to find out what the gist of the game is. And then I want to go back and do all those side pieces. And then people are saying that side objectives affect the story. And I'm just like, I need to play it all right now.
Yes.
You know what other game did that, though, is Horizon Zero Dawn.
You don't like that game.
Nick. Nick doesn't like that game.
I know.
Dan,
where's that knife?
What have you been playing?
What heck? Gee. Far Cry 5, obviously. I kind of jumped back on Sea of Thieves for a little bit, just because I was playing that before Far Cry 5 came out. Just by myself, kind of just a little bit here and there. Play with Chief, he's in the chat a little bit, and Bra a little bit. But been playing that. I've been trying to there we go. This episode was severely lacking, Bra.
Sorry.
But no, it's awesome.
What the hell's our problem?
You have to get something in there. Yeah.
That's of course.
What else have I been playing? I started the Batman game, the new one, the Telltale one.
Okay.
Got about 2 or 3 episodes into that. That's actually pretty good. And then just kind of random games here and there, just little indies, and just trying to pump that gamer score. I'm almost to 100,000, so that's kind of my goal, because I know like God of War coming out, and then Detroit and Spider-Man, and all this other stuff coming out for the PlayStation. I'm trying to get as much Xbox gaming in as I can right now before I get sucked into everything else. So I bounce back and forth anyway, so it doesn't really make too big a difference. But
us three got to get back into Burnout.
Yeah.
When?
I don't care. We'll just tonight.
Yeah.
Right now. See you guys.
Right now. Bye, guys. Yeah, I mean, and that too, man. That game is super fun with other people. I mean, it's.
I bought that. I bought that on sale this week. I was like, they're like, oh, it's half price already. I'm like,
yeah, that
damn
pisses
it.
me off.
Digital hoarder?
Maybe.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I bought several more games that I'm not gonna get to for 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
On that spring sale, then I just bought the Jackbox Party Pack because it was on sale.
I love those games.
Yeah,
Love Jackbox.
My kids want to play them, and some of them are okay.
Oh yeah, some of them
are
are
like, oh yeah,
a little raunchy. Yeah.
Have you guys played the murder one?
Yeah. The murder trivia. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that safe for kids?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
actually a real funny. It's kind of difficult as far as the trivia is concerned, but it's not like that at all. It's actually a pretty funny game. They got some weird ones. Whenever we have like our little gaming nights, that's one thing I always turn to. I love the Jackbox series. But yeah, no, the murder trivia, whatever the hell it's called, you're fine on that one.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right. So, Brandon, what have you been playing? Far Cry 5?
Far Cry 5, Far Cry 5, Far Cry 5, MLB.
Did you?
I did a little bit. That's probably it.
I haven't played enough MLB at all, but there's just so much to play right now.
Yeah. It isn't going to get any easier.
No, it's not. So I played a lot of Far Cry 5. I always kind of have a comfort game that I play. I've gone back and I've been replaying Portal 2. I love that game so much. I know. It's just Portal 2 is one of those games. It's one of my favorite games ever, but if you play it too soon after you recently played it, you remember the puzzles, and it's just kind of like, all right, you're going through the motions. It's been so long now since I've played it that I'm able to go back and replay it now and not remember most of the puzzle solutions. So I'm kind of going back into it with fresh eyes. I have a bad memory, so that helps. Our background keeps messing up. Who cares?
It's so bad.
But I also, I got a new job, and I was talking to somebody at work last week, and she goes, "Have you heard about this game, Kingdom Come Deliverance?"
No.
I'm like, well,
I met that grumpy man.
I met Mr. Rick, Mr. Grumpy,
Mr.
Brandon picture.
Patient Zero.
We have determined that in his picture, well, who was it? Was it Bra?
Bra determined that this is where I contracted PAX Pox from. Was Rick at PAX this year? Yeah,
Brandon came back very sick, which is why we have not done episodes in a long time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I went back and I was like, yeah, I know Rick. He's a friend. I haven't put enough time into his game. Whoops.
I'm a dick.
So I decided it was time for me to go in and play it. And I know there were some issues with it at launch, with some bugs, and I know that they were supposed to have been patched by now. Some of them haven't been patched. It's a really, really fun game. I'm surprised by how much fun I'm having with it. I knew it was going to be good. It is a really cool. You're playing a game where you don't have magic, like this old medieval times kind of game where you don't have to also get fire spells and kill dragons. So it is kind of this cool experience where the combat's difficult, but I like difficult. Lockpicking is a bitch.
Impossible.
And it's patched now, so it's better than initially was. I remember the first
patched?
week lockpicking is patched. Initially, like the
on
first
the Xbox?
Week on Xbox as well. And initially, I remember playing that game because I bought it first day because Rick got me hyped like crazy for that game. That man is a wizard. So I was playing it. I was sitting there going, "Oh, lockpicking! It can't be that bad." I was a whiz at this in Skyrim, and I'm like, "Oh, Oh God, I can't do anything.
Exactly.
Did anyone else get their ass kicked by the town drunk the first time?
I beat him, but it took a while.
Yeah, like I spent like 20 minutes fist fighting this guy, being like, "Why do you counter everything I throw at you?"
Yeah. But that was so I saw all those people on Twitter that are like, lockpicking sucks, lockpicking. And I'm like, you know what? Everyone complains about everything. There's no way it's that bad. I tried to pick a few locks, and it wouldn't be so bad if there weren't missions where you have to do it. So I was trying to do it in this mission where you had to like dress and up as one of the guards, where you had to pretend to be a soldier or whatever, and I just couldn't pick the lock. So luckily I'm playing on PC and there are mods for it. So I downloaded a mod that pretty much makes lockpicking automatic if you are of the level of that lock. So that has made the game so much better for me. But I'm enjoying it. I'm 10 or 11 hours in now, and it's really fun. I was talking to my friend at work about it, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm 9 hours in last night, and they're training me on how to use a bow. Am I still in the tutorial? And she's like, yeah, you still got a few more hours to go. Like, oh, what?
I've got 60, 70 hours in the game. I'm still not done yet.
Yeah, she said she's like 110 hours in, and she thinks she's getting close to the end. And I'm like, wow. God of War is coming out on Friday, so I won't be beating it yet.
Yeah, see, that's my problem too, because my friend came by and surprised me. He's like, hey, I picked you up this PlayStation game. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. What is it? He's like, oh, it's Persona 5. I'm like, you son of a...
Yeah, don't start it.
He's like, maybe you can finish it before God of War. I'm like, if I don't sleep.
Yeah. If you want to go out of your mind because you are stuck in this game now, no thanks. I played Persona 5 a lot, and it took me a month.
That's my concern with those games. Like with you guys, because all of us have kids here. You ever find some games are too long where you just don't want to dive into it because you're like, this is going to take me a month and a half with kids.
It's why I'm not kidding. It's why I've never played Skyrim, because I know I'm not going to give it the time it needs. So I'm just like, there's no need to do it. I own it on PS3, PS4, VR, but I'm never going to fucking play it. So yeah, I'm an idiot. And a digital hoarder.
Yes, you are. So anyway, I've been enjoying that. I also saw Ready Player One last weekend. Oh, what a movie. Welcome to the Oasis. Ready Player One is my favorite book ever, so I didn't expect to like the movie, and I was surprised. They made some changes to the book to make it work more as a movie, which they need to do. And I know people will complain about that. It's not like the book. Well, it shouldn't be like the book because
that guy.
Well, there's so many of those guys out there.
I just fuck that guy though. It's not like actually
in the book, the first trial was shut up and watch the movie and enjoy it for what it is. It has, if for them to do the book justice, it would have had to have been a mini series or one season of a TV show, and it's not. It's a movie, so you have to make things that are going to be shorter and kind of work better. You can't make that trial shorter because then it wouldn't have the suspense. So they had to change the trial to make it something that made more sense for a 2-hour movie. The movie was really good. I don't know. I love it so much. Dan, I know Dan saw it. I don't want to spoil anything.
Right. It's hard to talk about it without spoiling stuff. So, I mean, like you said, they had to change a lot of stuff just because of, people just wouldn't get some of that stuff. I think, this is where you kind of have to kind of tiptoe around stuff. But I mean, a lot of people saw like the DeLorean in the trailers and stuff like that. They had to put certain things, and change things around just so, otherwise they're going to lost. They're going to be like, what the hell was that? And, unless you've read the book or you've got, some kind of background in some of that stuff. Some things maybe they didn't have to change, but I really enjoyed it. It was just a lot of fun, and that's anytime I go to the movies, that's all I want, just don't bore the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And let me come out of there and say, oh, that was a good time. Did not waste my 2.5 hours. So
Yeah, and it's not going to be my favorite movie ever. It is my favorite book ever, but it was a movie that I had a great time watching, and it did what I wanted it to do. As far as it did more than I thought it could do with the
There
book.
you go.
And Tommy's
Right.
asking on the chat if they left details out like they did in Harry Potter. I mean, in Harry Potter, again, they had to. It's a 700-page book, and
Oh, no.
it's been a while since we podcasted. Jeez. So like in Harry Potter, they have to leave details out. So yes, in the movie, they do leave out some details, but it's not a detriment to the story unless you know some of the things that they did in the book.
Guy.
Unless you're that guy. Actually, in the book,
Page 137 that they have.
anything that they had to leave out, it wasn't like there's something missing. They changed things around to make it fit the 2-hour movie story. I'm done.
Yep.
I'm done.
Too much talking.
Somebody else talk.
you guys,
So I read that wrong.
out.
The reason I pointed to that question is I read it like there was Harry Potter nods in the movie,
No.
which would have made Mary just like go fucking nuts. That's why I pointed that question out.
There are a
Actually.
whole bunch of 80s nerds.
Yeah, I kind of figured that seemed a little off.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of references. What I do like about it is 95% of the time, those references don't seem like forced or weird. It makes sense with the story.
Gotcha.
So Ernie Klein is the guy who wrote the book. It did seem like in his second book, Armada, I didn't like that book.
I've
as
heard that
much.
book is just not very
Hot
good.
garbage.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And Ready Player One's my favorite book. If I have to say that one more fucking time.
You never have to say hot garbage. Or are you saying Ready Player? I just don't want you to ever say hot garbage again.
Armada is
three more
hot
times.
garbage.
3 more times.
Hot garbage, hot garbage, hot garbage.
Nice.
And Beetlejuice is here. But Armada felt like that. Armada, the book, felt like he was like, well, I have to add in a bunch of references now. So here's this references, and here's this reference, and here's so it felt forced in that one. In Ready Player One, it makes sense with the story.
One of my favorite reviews of the movie that I read was it should just be called Funko Pop the movie because it's just fucking like this person and this and this and this and this. So
It's true. There were a few moments where I'm like, yeah, that's my thing. I love that thing.
I like that Chucky's in it.
It's a cool moment.
I've heard about the Chucky scene because they dropped the F-bomb at that scene.
Oh, that's
and
right.
It's Steven Spielberg. Like he never drops F-bombs in his
And it's a
movie.
PG-13 movie.
Yep. You get one.
They got their
You got
one and
their
they
one.
used it. You got one chance. Lose yourself in the music at the moment.
Nope, stop.
Don't ever let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. I'm feeling 22.
Did I mute you?
Yeah.
Sweet, good.
I'm back.
Yep. So I think we're gonna wrap the show up here.
Yeah.
Before we do, I'm gonna put my poll questions up here.
Real quick,
No, I won't.
I watched Silent Hill the movie. Thanks
Oh,
to
yeah,
you
that-
guys for voting for it in the poll.
It's fucking awesome.
It's a really good movie.
Thank you.
It's
What was it up against? And everybody was like, "Oh,
I wanted to watch Battle Royale.
that's what it was." I'm
I
telling you,
I still do want to watch
fucking
Battle
Silent Hill's a
Royale.
better movie. I would if somebody was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to watch Silent Hill or Battle Royale." I'm picking Silent Hill every single time. Battle Royale's a cool movie, but
Well, you know what?
Silent Hill's
44%
actually-
44% of our viewers and listeners agreed
Yeah, good.
and picked it.
They're smarter. I'll let you watch. I'll give you Battle Royale to watch tonight.
Okay.
Or put it on your next poll and it won't win. As far as so if you're not familiar with the show, we go through our extensive movie. It's not very good. We go through our extensive movie and video game backlog. And we put up 3 of one of them and have you guys vote as to what we play and or watch next. So I have movies this week. So I picked 3 movies that all look like lots of action are in them, but none of them reviewed particularly well, if good at all. I don't think none of them did good. But I'm the kind of guy who just likes movies. It's very rare that I don't like something. Like I just find redeeming qualities in pretty much everything. Not people. People suck. So I picked 3 movies that are on my list that I have not seen that I've got kick-ass trailers, but apparently the movies didn't hold up to it. The first one is Last Witch Hunter, which was Vin Diesel movie that just looks awesome. It just looks cool. It looks like a Van Helsing-esque type movie. The second movie is Victor Frankenstein. I do like Daniel Radcliffe and why can't I think of his name right now? James McAvoy. Looked awesome. I don't think it reviewed particularly well at all. And the third movie is Seventh Son, which was another one. Oh, these are all movies that you go, I have no idea what you're talking about. Then you see the trailer and you go, oh, that movie. So that's probably gonna be a lot of explaining on this poll. Seventh Son was Jeff Bridges. Just again, it looked like a badass action, like fantasy action movie. I don't know if anybody has seen any of these movies. If anybody has any idea what I'm talking about, but I tried to pick 3 just kind of essentially dud movies and see what I think of them. Are you guys, Dan, you familiar with any of those 3?
Absolutely not.
Awesome, good
No
stuff.
idea what you're talking
None
about.
of them at all.
Fucking great.
Well,
I've heard of the one with Vin Diesel, and I've heard of Victor Frankenstein. I've
Okay,
not
let's
heard
start.
of the last one.
Seventh
So, I
Son
mean-
is that one where if you see a trailer, you go, oh, I remember that. Yeah, apparently it was not very good.
Dan, Diego suggested that you watch a movie. He suggested you watch Debbie Does Diego. So,
Oh my.
I watch that every night.
yeah,
It's my go to sleep time movie.
I'll bet tires you out. Nick, what
My arm.
have you seen any of those movies, Nick?
The Vin Diesel one's the only one that rings a bell, and I think I went and saw that because I don't remember how old it was, but I can vaguely remember.
It's from like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this poll's gonna get 4 fucking votes because nobody knows what any of these movies are. Can't wait. And it's gonna
yeah,
be
no, that's the only one that
beautifully-
I vaguely remember, and I think I vaguely remember maybe smoking some happy grass and going and seeing it, and it was an okay film.
I feel like if that was something I partook in, all 3 of these movies, that was probably what helps make these movies more bearable. I don't care. I'll fucking enjoy them. But the fact that literally nobody in the chat has said anything, none of you guys know what these
Some
are.
people have said some stuff.
Not about this.
Tommy did.
What did he say?
He said,
He
last
said
Witch Hunter.
Porky's.
Oh, did he? Oh.
Which don't get me wrong, Porky's is fucking awesome, but Porky's is not on the list.
Oh, fair enough. All right, so let me pick one.
Yeah, just what are you gonna fucking eeny, meeny, miny, moe? 'Cause
The
you don't know
only
what they are?
one that I mean, I know what Last Witch Hunter is, sort of, and I do know what Victor Frankenstein is. I think Daniel Radcliffe, I like the Harry Potter movies. I want to preface that before your wife Mary comes home and
Good
beats
call.
me to death.
Stabs you.
I do like Harry Potter. I do think Daniel Radcliffe is the worst actor in the history of mankind.
Do you haven't watched the Twilight movies? Then?
I won't.
'Cause-
God.
Yeah,
I read the first book and then, God.
watch the Twilight movies or watch like 30 seconds of Gilmore Girls, and you'll get one of the worst actresses in the world.
I like Gilmore Girls. We talked about that.
Yeah, but
They're
you
bad actresses.
can't shit on Daniel Radcliffe, then, man. Come on.
I
man.
can shit on all
He's
of
a
them.
good not a good actor. He's a very capable actor.
How many Harry Potter movies have you seen?
All of them, unfortunately.
But
But he was good in The Woman in Black. It was a very good movie.
can't finish a fucking
Nope, you
sentence
can't.
tonight.
Go ahead. But I was
To
just thinking that
contrast
I liked him
Daniel
in,
Radcliffe,
Swiss Army Man.
what's his James McAvoy is one of my favorite actors. So Victor Frankenstein.
That was a long fucking way to get there.
I wonder who made it that way.
I don't know. You shitting on Daniel
You did
Radcliffe.
this.
Mary's gonna stab you when she gets home. FYI. So Stoned Nicholas voted for Last Witch Hunter. You voted for Victor Frankenstein. Dan, which one are you just randomly throwing a vote on because nobody knows the movies I picked?
Yeah, I'll do Victor Frankenstein. That's fine.
Okay.
It seems like a something.
It is a something. I've seen the box art. It is
I mean,
indeed a something.
James McAvoy is so fantastic.
Yeah, he is. He's for sure a great actor. All right. There's going to be fucking 4 votes on this poll. I try to be different. I don't like being like, what should I watch? Platoon? Full Metal? Like all these like fucking movies everybody like has heard of. I need a reason to watch some of these movies that are buried on my Voodoo account.
See, I like it because when you guys post up these polls, I'll sit there and look up these movies and I'll go watch those movies and be like,
There you
hey, this
go.
is great. Like when Alden was like, I want to watch Battle Royale, then he didn't get to. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go watch Battle Royale because Alden can't. It was
You
great.
jerk. I can't watch it if people don't vote for it.
Yeah, Joel.
Okay, are we done? Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
So-
Nobody likes my stuff.
Dan, where can people find you?
Right there. He's
No,
right
me?
there.
Yeah.
Right there he is.
There I am.
Right there.
I'm basically on Twitter, D Rodriguez WDSC, and that's basically it. Also, I'm in Kansas. If you really want to find me, I mean,
Tell us your address, Dan.
if you really want to know,
He's like the only guy out there. So
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
just-
pretty much the only person. I'm not
Yeah.
too far from Kansas City, but that's about it. I have no podcast. I have no YouTube
you
channel.
do. If Diego would just buy a mic
That's
and a
right.
camera, we
So-
would have a podcast
We're gonna do it. It'll happen.
in
Soon.
12 years. Come on, Diego.
Come on, Diego.
We're still not convinced Diego's real.
Yeah, I don't.
He's an
think-
AI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Um,
in the Oasis.
XOX Rapture on XOX Rapture XOX on Xbox and PlayStation, and that's it. That's all I got, man.
All right, Nick. Let us know where you live too.
Yeah,
I live in the Great White North, where I ride polar bears in my igloo. It's fine.
I've seen your land in South Park games. You become very
Yeah.
yeah. It's beautiful.
I'm surprised that you're.
You know what? No.
Why is your head
We were
connected
talking
to your
about
jaw?
that just from the fact that when that South Park game came out, I got
Yes, it's
96
freaking ignorant.
notification photo tags of people being like, "Hey, look, it's where you live." I'm like, "Son of a."
Did you play the South Park games?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is that where you
fantastic.
live?
Yeah.
Be honest.
Yeah, it pretty much
So-
is. Our heads unhinge and go like that. I have a really good game face. That's all.
You're good at it. Well done.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. I know you've worked really hard at that.
Years of training, man. Went to college for it, actually.
That's
All right,
what I'm
so-
talking about.
So where can people find you on Twitter and on podcast and on? So I do want to say, Nick does a podcast every Saturday night, and it's one of the few podcasts that I try to make sure I check out every week.
I'm
It's
blanking on the name right now.
gaming. It's the gaming perspective.
There you go. My favorite was
It's-
watching the gears turn in your head.
It's
right now.
such. It's such a long name. It's not
It's
even
3
that
words.
long, man. I don't understand
It's
why.
one word longer than ours.
I
Unless
feel
we
like
change
shit.
it to the
I was-
digital hoarders.
I was on the show. I was on the show a month or so ago, and it was like I started talking about it on the show, and I'm like, so at next Saturday, I'll be on the show. I'll be on Undead show, before previously known as Undead, and it's called. And Brandon had to look it up, and I watch it every week.
Oh,
It's
man.
called The Gaming Perspective, and I appreciate your call out last week, so thank you for that. But go ahead, we'll stop interrupting you now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so you guys people can find me on Twitter at Undead3XVI. That's not my user handle anymore, but I'd start using. So yeah, people can find me on there. Undead3XVI, basically on any app you can find me. Mixer, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Tinder,
Not Tinder.
Grinder.
Yeah, but tomorrow actually, I'll pump myself up with someone who's
hey.
very famous on this show. Me and the PlayStation Bra are doing a little show tomorrow.
If you want, you can just have us on the show. You'll save the parents' fee. Alden does a good PlayStation. You don't even-
Yeah. Game on, bro.
Game on, bro.
I'm here on the gaming. What's it called? I forget. Gaming perspective.
Perspective. I don't think that's how you say it, bro.
I don't know how you say it. We don't have perspectives here in Tennessee.
All they have is the Titans.
That's
We got
right.
Titans and Fortnite
That's it. And little bro.
and Little Bra.
And little bro coming on the way.
Oh yeah,
Congrats on that, bro.
yeah. I'm having a baby.
Baby bro.
Not me. I hope I
That's
didn't
news.
just jinx anything.
Tanya's just waiting for you to get home. She's gonna say,
Game off, bro.
"You're a new dad, bro." Tanya will say it though.
Nick, where can people find you?
Okay, Twitter, YouTube, Undead3x5. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll find all those links throughout the week as I post stuff. Yeah, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going live with PlayStation Bra. We're going to talk about his website, God of War, everything PlayStation, basically. So it'll be a good time.
I promise you, he will talk about Fortnite, Little Bra, Mrs. Bra,
And fucking
And the Titans.
Black Panther.
and the Titans,
I don't even understand.
and wrestling.
I did.
He doesn't talk about a whole lot.
I did his show, I did his Monday Night Brawl, his first inaugural episode that he did for 2 weeks. And when we were on the show, I was like, you see that Black Panther? Because he brings it up so much. And then
he's like, no, bro.
When we were doing Monday Night Brawl, he was like, hey, did you see Black Panther? And I was like, are you messing with me right now? And he was like, no, it's been a while. So I wondered if you saw it.
Please ask him if he's seen Black Panther.
It's a really good movie.
I'll make sure I add it to the list of questions I have for him. No, my favorite memory of him, though, is the time that you guys were on the broadcast and you guys were mimicking them the whole time. And I was sitting there listening to it. I'm like, is that actually him talking or is this Alton and Brandon? Like, I can't even tell.
I love that became a bit all because we fucked off on an episode of #DadPod and it just became a bit now.
Yeah. Good times.
Game off, bro.
All right, Brandon, where can people find you? Not on Twitter. Holy shit, we don't talk about that at all.
Yeah. I exist on Twitter, but apparently I've been shadow banned. Meanwhile, I've been shadow banned, but then like I'm reading other guys tweet like, you know, go fuck yourself and your kids because you like certain games and they don't get shadow banned. But I'd like talk positively and like try to be nice to everybody. And for some reason, I am now shadow banned. So I exist. You just have to click on my name. It's really fucking weird and it's really fucking irritating. And I don't like it. I don't know if you can tell.
He gets really mad.
Yeah, I don't like it. So I am on Twitter, bmurphy28. I just want everybody to like retweet my plea to Twitter and just be like, hey, unblock this guy or I just can't figure it out.
I think it's just an error on their end.
It's really irritating.
I'm
not that interesting.
You know why
of a
they
person.
blocked you? It's because you're not excited for Nintendo Labo on the 20th.
That's what it is. That's literally I was like, I sat there and I went, that's literally the only like controversial thing I've said is nobody I know wants Labo. And let's be honest, nobody we know wants Labo. It's my job to be in these accounts and gauge interest for products. Nobody wants fucking Labo.
Unless it's Japan, because apparently, according to that one article, you know, there's more people in Japan excited for Labo than God of War, which is just
I'm not buying that. But apparently, from what I was told, the like robot kit, the one that they are like super hyped about, doesn't fit adults at all. No, it doesn't. So that's going to go over well because Nintendo's not the one telling you that. So that'll be great.
That's fine. That's fine because most of my Super Nintendo friends that are super excited for Labo, they're about child size. So that's true.
That was good. That's why it's selling so well in Japan. But
what?
They're all very tiny people. There's that's sumo wrestlers.
And
am I wrong?
Shadow banned on you.
Am I wrong? No, yep. Am I wrong? They're all in good. I'm not even like. They're just not fat like me. There is no like moobs over there. They're all in good shape. Watch Battle Royale. They're all in great shape. If you ever get around to watching it, they're all in great shape over there.
Thank you guys for joining us on the final episode of Digital Hoarders.
Final episode without me. I didn't do that.
You got shadow banned from life.
From life. I'll just be here talking. It's just like I'm on mute all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong. I'm just saying.
You can find me on Twitter at a.bear. I'm not shadow banned because I don't say racist things. I'm
Is it racist? If I didn't say, I was very nice.
He's still going.
I fucking wish I looked like them. That's what I'm saying. I'm in terrible shape. Have you ever seen this? You want me to take my shirt off? It's not pretty. It's not pretty.
Oh, man.
You guys get to turn the podcast off.
Nope. I'll be right here.
I'm just right here. Find our shows. Follow us, like us, subscribe. Check out #DadPod. We're finally back on that too. That'll be back on Monday.
You lost.
I know. Thank you guys for joining us. In all seriousness, rest in peace, Matt, Xbox addict. Great dude. We will tweet out the GoFundMe link. Was it GoFundMe?
Yes.
There have been a few links that are a little bit shady that have been out there. So we'll tweet out the one that we found that Aaron Greenberg had retweeted. He's such a great dude, such a great person that brought the community together. Don't forget that and don't let it leave your memory, and use it as a reminder to stay a positive person that people want to rally around. So we appreciate him. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, his mom, his wife, his kids. I can't even imagine what they're going through. So please donate what you can. Not a whole lot more we can say about that. So thank you guys for joining us. Digital Hoarders episode 29. We should be back next week.